Hello, Taurus, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of July 6th through the 12th. And during that time, we do have a waxing gibbous moon, and that allows for, I feel like that's the time of really making adjustments and being flexible to kind of look around and say, okay, this is working, this is not working, where do I need to make changes? So keep that in mind. We then move into the full moon energy on the 10th, kind of into the 11th. So, that can be heightened senses. That's when we sometimes feel overwhelmed or anxious, maybe snappy and irritable. If you're like me, I have trouble sleeping on full moon nights. I'm just wide awake. I have so much energy. So, watch out that you're not turning into a lunatic there. So yeah, pay attention to those moon energies this week with the full moon. It should be beautiful. It's summer, and hopefully we have nice, clear, beautiful skies so that if you are up like me, you can at least be outside enjoying that moon. So this will be an intuitive general reading, Taurus, for the energies that you may or may not encounter this week. So, of course, please keep that in mind and take what resonates, leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message for this reading, you're very close to achieving your goal. All right, let's see what the Taurus Collective has going on. And Taurus, I will say that since my readings are free to you, all that I ask in return is that you hit the subscribe button right down there. It really helps my channel. It's super, super easy for you to do. So I will give you a moment to do that right now as I'm shuffling. Thank you so much. And if you've been a subscriber, thank you for coming back and helping me build a community here. I see you and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. And my weekly reminder this week is that you notice the world around you today, not just today, really, but every day. And this is for synchronicities that the universe might be showing you. And this could come in the form of animals, sometimes an overheard conversation or a song that pops up on the radio. This could be repeating numbers or number patterns. But watch for those synchronicities. They're always there. And they're like little clues and breadcrumbs that the universe offers to follow, to show you what's happening on your unique path. Once you start paying attention to those things, it's really uncanny what you can see. That's all that I'll say. So just try to be open to those. You might want to journal certain things that you see or just really pay attention. It's things that are kind of out of the ordinary. I feel like when I see some synchronistic thing that I'm to the point now where I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I need to pay attention to that. So anyway, that's just my weekly reminder, is to pay attention to those things, Taurus. All right, Taurus, without further ado, let's get right into this reading. July 6th through 12th, you're very close to achieving your goal. Your overall present energy is the Lover's card. So what kind of goals are we talking about here? Does this have to do with your love life? Well, we'll see as the cards come out, but you're very close to achieving some goal. Maybe it's a goal of a new relationship. Maybe you've met maybe you're just about to meet someone. If you're in a relationship, maybe that you've been working on some things, in your relationship. They all go through ups and downs and swings, and I think our romantic relationships, to me, are really the way that we learn about ourselves more than any other relationships, really. I mean, we do, of course, through our parents and our children and our friendships and everything, but those super close relationships of a lover is really where that mirror comes in, and you're learning about yourself and learning about each other and teaching each other about yourself and each other. So your current situation is the Queen of Cups. So it looks like, this could have something to do with understanding the emotions of someone around you. And of course, this is a queen, so it's not only about understanding your emotions, but also your subjects. So if your lover is one of your subjects, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, I just mean someone in your realm there, that maybe you're understanding how and why they tick on an emotional level, and you're just being able to understand that right now. At the root of your situation is the Empress. Interesting. So we have the Lovers and the Empress. I would watch out here for pregnancy. This is our card of pregnancy. If it's something that you're interested in, go for it. If it's something that you're trying to watch out for, please be careful out there. But also, it doesn't always have to be about pregnancy in the form of a baby, but creativity and pregnancy in the form of giving birth to something that takes a while to come to fruition, maybe months and years. So, and this could just be a relationship. It could be that, this relationship that you're in is something that's really coming together and maybe getting a little bit deeper. Maybe it's been deeper, and again, you're just kind of working on things, but you're having this new emotional understanding, but you're putting the long-term work into this relationship. What is and your recent past here is feeling a little bit satisfied and a little bit indulgent, and that's good. It could be that you're happy about this relationship. If it's not a new one, it's something you've been happy, and you're kind of just indulging yourself and indulging in that happiness. Like, it's okay to just be happy sometimes. It doesn't all have to be work. On your mind is the Nine of Swords. So something is bringing you in a little bit of anxiety here. And I'm going to say too that now we've got two nines on the table. So you might want to look up angel number 99. We'll see if another one pops out as well. But yeah, you're kind of anxious about something. And it could be, again, with this relationship, it could be something with this Empress card. If some of you might be actually a little anxious about some pregnancy result or whatever. So but again, keep a lookout for that if that's something, but it might just be something that you're anxious about when it comes to this relationship in general as well. So yeah, think about what it is that's kind of keeping you up at night. And whatever it is, you've got to take care of it so you can get some rest. So if it's something you need to journal about, write it down, so that you can rest at night. What is just ahead of you is the Page of Cups. So I almost got like a whew feeling. Page of Cups, to me, is kind of representative of a sense of humor. I mean, it's a new emotional path, but I just see that this is kind of our jester of the deck, because he's got a fish in his cup. He's just a silly guy. I just feel like there's some even keeled emotional water behind him, even though it's a cup of emotions. It's nothing too deep, right? So ahead of you is having a sense of humor and being light and having some sort of laughter about whatever the situation. It could be that you were anxious about something there was really no need to be anxious about it. And so we're going to end up laughing about it. In your advice position is the Ace of Swords. So this is an aha moment. This is having some sort of like a light bulb idea, a mental breakthrough about something. Again, if it's having to do with your partner, if it was stressing you, here comes this mental breakthrough, and now we're kind of laughing about it, right? Um, yeah, very close to achieving your goal. And if your goal is being a little bit more lighthearted, I can definitely see that happening. What is beyond your control? All right, it's the Eight of Swords here. So we've got the Eight and the Nine of Swords. So it's beyond your control to feel like feel a little bit stuck. But I always see this card as this is kind of the you can do this card. You have to think your way out of something, and but you totally have the skills to do that. Especially you're a Taurus. Tauruses can think their way out of a box, right? So you can think your way out of it. It's beyond your control to do it. And I think, again, once you figure that out and think out that anxiety is going to fall to the wayside because of it. What is your secret desire? What you're trying to avoid? Here we are with the Seven of Pentacles. So is it your secret desire to wait on this harvest, or are you trying to avoid waiting on this harvest? These are the seeds that you've planted in this. Even though they're pentacles, it doesn't necessarily have to mean they're financial seeds that you planted, but just some seeds in life there that you've planted, and there's really nothing you can do but watch them come to fruition. You've done the work. You've done the work, and it's kind of, you're waiting for your rewards to come in with it. Is that your secret desire to kind of do that waiting, or are you trying to avoid doing that waiting? Are you trying to rush something along, or do more work where it's not really needed, if that makes sense? That'll be your big question here of the week. So in your outcome position, Taurus, we've got the Five of Pentacles here, which kind of leaves you feeling a little bit like an outsider. But are you really? I mean, that's in your outcome position, is that you kind of feel like an outsider, even though it looks like you're going to overcome some anxiety and some sort of mental struggles this week, that you've got the skills to do with this Ace of Swords. You're going to have some sort of breakthrough there. You've got your sense of humor about you too. So what is it that's making you feel a little bit like an outsider this week? And does it have something to do with your relationship here? It could be. So again, you're very close to achieving your goal. If you're feeling like an outsider, and if it's in the realms of this relationship, you definitely need to at least speak up about it. Let's see what's hidden from you here at the bottom of the deck. Is the Magician. Interesting. So, what you don't have is the help of the Magician this week. And the Magician is kind of like, the awareness of what needs to be manifested or changed, and even in which area. So, that kind of still may be hidden from you this week. Again, tarot, things don't wrap up in a week. Life happens all the time. And sometimes cycles take a little bit longer for things to come about. So, if you're kind of feeling like an outsider towards the end of this week, and again, you're very close to achieving your goal. It doesn't say, oh, we're achieving that goal. So it looks like you're kind of plugging away at something here that doesn't really resolve this week, but you're definitely making the necessary changes to kind of move things forward in the direction that you want them to be. So that is how that goes. Let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. A final message for Taurus here as they work towards, I'm just going to say just really good relationship stability is what this feels like to me. All things in moderation. Isn't that always really good advice? And these are the self-care wisdom cards here by Cheryl Richardson. Was that her name? Yeah, Cheryl Richardson. And I started putting these cards in the readings last week because they're just the nicest cards and I love their messages. So let's get a self-care wisdom card reading for Taurus, July 6th through 12th. What is Taurus's self-care message? All right, growth. And the card says, get it up here. Evolution starts when you leave your comfort zone. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Okay, so are you in some sort of comfort zone? And it is your self-care to be uncomfortable. Something's making you a little bit anxious here. You're feeling a little bit like an outsider. So get comfortable with being uncomfortable, whatever that might mean to you. And if it's within the realm of this relationship, again, things don't wrap up in a week. You're very close to achieving a goal, but it looks like you're getting there emotionally. You might just be working out the details of something, but definitely keeping your sense of humor about you, which is always a really good thing. So, Taurus, I really appreciate your time here with me today. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, please drop me a message down below. Let me know what it is you're going through. What are you going through with a relationship? If you're comfortable sharing that, how are you using your sense of humor? What are you being anxious about? Also, I will say again, let me look over the numbers again. Look up angel number 99. Sometimes those angel numbers are just a little, it's again one of those synchronicities that pops in front of us, and you might see that number a few times this week. And it's just a really good way to kind of just get other messages that are coming through from the universe, right? And nines typically are about being almost there, and this is you're very close to achieving your goal. So even in numerology, 9 is like we're not quite at the 10, right? We're just kind of we're getting there. And so you've got 2 9 showing up here. Anyway, I do readings every week, so pop by next week and we'll see if this energy changes or if there's something completely different and new here for you. That's just the way tarot works sometimes. Also, again, if you like my reading style, please like and subscribe. It helps my channel, but most importantly, Taurus, it'll help you find me next week. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.